aimless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory, yeah. Don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring, I just want a life that is worth every day exploring,
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, I just wanna be great.
One of the biggest games of the Detroit Lions in the last couple years is happening on Sunday, so we decided to have a freaking epic ultra show with two panelists that knows their football. I'm going to start with my guy, Mark Oram from Orams Forum. What's going on, Mark?
Hey, what's going on, Mike? What's going on, everybody in the chat? Going on, man. Detroit Lions football. Let's get into it. Woo!
And we have the myth, the legend, the guy who started Woodworth Sports, my G right here, Adam Baydoun. What's going on, man?
Hey. That's quite the intro, man. I appreciate it as always. I'm excited. It's going to be very fun.
Hey, it's a huge game Sunday, folks. Huge game on Sunday. Detroit Lions face the 10-2 Minnesota Vikings. Lions are favored in this game. So with such a big game, we got to have a big panel. I want to shout out everybody in the chat right now. We got It's My Boy, Chrome, Jamie Ward, Dragon Fan Tim, Wayne Shark, Weston Line, Craig Ferguson, Paul Ginder, my guy Hugh Janus, greatest name of all time, Robert Kramer, Ben Bridges, 9 Drinks, Cody Richer. Thank you everybody coming in here. Smash that like button right now. Why? Because when you smash it, the video goes out there, and that's what it's all about. Adam, you ready for this game on Sunday? You ready to kick the S out of the Minnesota Vikings?
I am very, very excited for Sunday's game. This is arguably not only the biggest game Dan Campbell has ever coached in and the most meaningful, but it's the most meaningful game the Lions have played in maybe 3, 4, 5 years. Not because the playoffs are on the line or, that they're contending for the division. No, but you have an opportunity to beat a team you should have beat earlier in the year. They're 10-2. And I think everybody is confident that the Lions are going to go out there and beat the Minnesota Vikings. I think that's what makes this game so intriguing is everybody kind of has a deep, dark, feeling in their stomach that they don't want to share publicly because, the Lions are notorious for not winning these games. But I think deep down, most people, including Minnesota, they're not happy about this. This is the worst team to play in the NFL right now, or at least one of. The Lions are hot. They're dangerous. The offense is explosive. They're completing, 50% of their third downs over the last 4 or 5 games. St. Brown is second in the NFL in receiving yards over the last 4 games. So this is a team you just want to avoid, and I'm ready.
Isn't it nice to be a part of that? A team that you don't want to avoid. We're not a bye week anymore. Now it's like it's a cry week. You don't want to face this team. You got Jalen Reagor out there trying to talk a lot of garbage, even though really inside he's afraid. He's afraid of the Detroit Lions, Mark.
I think St. Brown has more receiving yards in 2 weeks than the dude has in his carear. Why is he talking?
His whole career, man. Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
hashtag
What are we doing here?
It's Jalen who? Is Jalen Reagor who, Mark? Who's this Jalen Reagor guy?
Man, Philadelphia Eagles made a mistake in drafting that kid, and they ended up ditching him to the Minnesota Vikings. I don't know if they ever traded for him or if the Vikings claimed him. I can't even remember, but he was – he was a Philadelphia Eagle. He didn't do too well over there. Now he's a Viking. Now he's running his mouth. Hey, man, he's kind of supposed to do that, man. It is the NFC North. It's a little bit of a rival, obviously, right, because we're both in the same division. So, he hasn't panned out, but we'll see who's on him. I'm not really too worried about Jalen Reagor. They got some other guys over there like Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson that we really need to focus on, and a little bit worried about Jeff Okudah. I don't think he practiced today, so I don't know what's
sick.
going on.
He's got an illness.
Is this an illness?
Yeah, it's just an
okay.
illness.
All right, then. I didn't click on the link. I just kind of seen that he wasn't at practice, so I didn't know it was an illness. So that's a good sign right there. So Okudah back on Jefferson. kind of shut him down last time. You know, a little bit of safety help, obviously. Justin Jefferson is one of the best in the league. So there's a couple guys on that squad. TJ Hawkinson coming back home. So we'll see what happens with this Minnesota offense, because our defense is really kind of playing well, man. We're living off the turnover right now. We're still giving up some yards on the ground and through the air, but we're playing really good, sound football. And like Adam said, man, who wants to really play us right now? Like, you know, we're playing really sound, disciplined football. So I'm really excited what's going to happen on Sunday, man. I'm boozing up that Kool-Aid right now for sure.
Folks, hey, if you like me, you got to hear this really, really quick, because I got to say, my sponsor is a G. Check this out. Before we jump into the main part of this show, huge shout out to Rocket Money, the sponsor of the One Pride podcast. Go to rocketmoney.com/Lions Talk and download the app today. What does it do? It removes those unnecessary apps, unnecessary subscriptions that you have to Hulu, to Netflix, to HBO Max, in which my teenager watched a bunch of movies, and I didn't realize it until I got Rocket Money, and I removed that bad boy. And what's good about this app is it removes the hoops that you got to jump through. You know, you got to call up the HBO Max to remove the subscription, or go to the website, or go to any other websites that are affiliated with the apps that you don't want. What's really good, the app shows you all the subscriptions in one place and then cancels for you whatever you don't still want. Rocket Money can find the subscriptions you don't know you're paying for, and even find out you've been double charged for subscriptions, and that is absolutely unacceptable. To cancel a subscription, all you have to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Get rid of the useless subscriptions, folks, with Rocket Money now. Go to rocketmoney.com/Lions Talk. Seriously, it can save you hundreds per year. And that's rocketmoney.com/Lions Talk. Like I was saying before, folks, this bad boy got rid of all the subscriptions, specifically HBO Max. Why? Because I really generally don't use it, and it removed it that my kid got. It hooked me up big time, saving a little bit of cheddar cheese for me, and every little dollar is good to save. Let's be honest here, especially in this inflationary time. So go ahead and go to rocketmoney.com. If you support this channel, support our sponsor. rocketmoney.com/Lions Talk. The link is in the comment section and in the description of this show. TJ Hawkinson is coming back. Adam, TJ Hawkinson returning after the trade. TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah.
What do you think he's going to do when he comes back? Is he going to be Eric Ebron, or is he going to be TJ Matron?
He'll probably have a really good game, just because he's going to be up for it. You know, Kevin O'Connell's definitely going to give him let's say 7-8 targets. But the Vikings got to be careful, man. They can't, one, underestimate this team, which I don't think they will, and two, and more importantly, what are you going to do with Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen? Look at this guy easy walking in here. What are you going to do with these guys who, let's just call it what it is. The Lions defense, the last 5 games, have only given up 19.8 points a game, right? They are really, really coming into their own. And I don't think you have to worry about TJ. Don't let Jefferson beat you. Don't let Thielen beat you. And you know what? If Hawkinson goes for a $120 and a touchdown or 2, maybe he feels good about it. But if you win, who gives a shit? I seen TJ Hawkinson go for a $140 earlier against Seattle this year, and the Lions lost. Did anybody really care? So I'm not too worried. He's probably going to have a good game, though. If you have him on your fantasy team, he's a must-start.
Are you guys worried in the comment section? Let me know right now. Y for yes and for no. Let me know if you're worried. Also, heavyweight is at 5 p.m. right after the stream. Want every single person to jump on there, get on the show, and listen. I love Easy, Spencer Raxter. I'm listening to it. I'm in the comment section hanging out. What do you think about TJ Hawkinson, Mark Oram, coming back to Detroit, facing the Lions defense? Do you think it's going to be something we're going to regret, or he's going to be non-existent?
I don't think it's going to be something that this team regrets. I I think at the time when we traded him, I thought it was a good move. But like, when these guys get traded and they come back and play, they always kind of play it off like it's not really, it's not a big deal that I'm going right back to Detroit. Don't really know what TJ's saying, but deep down inside, these guys really care. And he's going to want to show out 100%. He hasn't really blown anybody out of the water over there in Minnesota, but he's still a really good tight end. I thought he was a little bit unutilized here as a Detroit Lion. Had a couple big games for us, went through some injuries, but I think he's going to have a good game, like Adam said. Whoever's going to be stuck on him, maybe Deshaun Elliott, Kirby Joseph, pop him a few times, but they're all friends. They are, they're professionals, but they are boys in the end. But hey, man, this is like between the lines right there, man. These guys are going to be fighting to the death. So I'm not too worried about TJ Hawkinson, like Adam said, and it's going to be a Justin Jefferson kind of day, and a Dalvin Cook, a Thielen. Those are the three guys I think we're really going to have to worry about come Sunday.
Talk about Justin Jefferson, Adam. This guy is a stud wide receiver. Can Jeff Okudah replicate the success that he had week 3, where I think he didn't even have over 50 yards receiving? He shut him down. Do you think we can do that again in this game?
I'm going to say no, unfortunately, because, one, if you bring safety help this time around, well, you're giving TJ Hawkinson a lot of space over the middle. And as much as we make fun of or we're disappointed with Hawkinson, his matchup is very friendly this week. If you put if you put two guys on Jefferson the whole game, who's accounting for Dalvin Cook out of the backfield as a pass threat? Who's accounting for TJ Hawkinson over the middle? None of our linebackers are all that great in pass coverage. Some games they do have good games. Spencer wants to say hi, everybody.
Hey, Mike, I love you.
Hey, man. Oh, first off, I got to say this. The debut of these two on my channel is just from saying I love you and what up, man, through that. So a great debut by Spencer Raxter in Speakeasy.
No privacy around here. Should have went and did this in the bathroom. Anyways.
Hell no. Hell no.
Oh, God. Where was I? Yeah, so look, if you put two guys on Jefferson, you're going to run into the issue of Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen. KJ Osborne beat you deep to end that first game earlier in the year. It's going to be a tough matchup. So what the Lions need to do best is, I still think, stop the run. Do not let Dalvin Cook. Don't let Minnesota do what you do to everybody else, right? Don't let them establish the run and then really get you on your heels for, we need to commit 4, 5, 6, 7 guys in the box now. And then Justin Jefferson has more space. And then Osborne. And then Hawkinson. And then all these guys will have more space. You have to be a little careful. But at the end of the day, in the NFL, it's not so much what you can do to stop another opponent. It's about what you can do that your opponent can't stop you from doing. And I think the Lions need to focus on what they do well. And if you're going to give up 100 yards to Jefferson and 70 to Hawkinson and another 50 to Thielen, you got to live with it. But how's your red zone defense? Are you getting off the field on third down? You have been a team over the last 5 weeks that's given up a ton of yards, but teams haven't punched you for it. So you're getting off the field, on third down. Red zone defense has been tight. You've got the takeaways to show for it. You can let these guys have a game, but are you making the plays that you have been making? That's the key.
Definitely there, for sure. And that's something that we're going to have to find out. Mark Orem, the defense of the Vikings is not what you would expect. It's not really that good. How do you see Ben Johnson and Jared Goff and the weapons that we do have attack this defense and put up some mad points?
You just got to keep doing what you've been doing. You have to run the hell out of the football. Use Swift, use Jamal, short shots. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Use Josh Reynolds. You don't want to put Jared Goff in a bad situation where you're having this guy drop back 5-7 steps, and you got guys like Danielle Hunter and Zadarius Smith coming at you, because those two guys are animals. They have a lot of sacks between both of them. I think they have over 16, 17 sacks between both of them. So they're getting to the quarterback. So you don't want to get into a situation where you're dropping back too much with Jared Goff. Just keep doing what you've been doing. There's no reason to really necessarily change anything up. It's nice to see J-Mo back. I'd like to see him get a little more involved this week. But, just don't let those guys pin their ears back and come. And we talk about turnovers a lot, and the Minnesota Vikings have a really, really nice turnover ratio going on right now. That's how they kind of live and die by the turnover. They give up a lot of yards. They're almost kind of identical. I'm not going to say we have the same kind of defense, but they live off the turnover. We live off the turnover. We give up a bunch of yards. They give up a bunch of yards. So I think it's going to be one of those games, and whoever gets the maybe one or two more turnovers at the most is going to come on top. And we really need to secure the football. I'm a bit nervous about Danielle Hunter and what's his called there, Zadarius Smith. But Decker's been playing lights out. Sewell's been good. So, just keep doing what you're doing on offense, and everything should work itself out.
Turnover differential is vital right now. The Detroit Lions are +1. That's 15th in the NFL. Minnesota Vikings are +8, third in the NFL. Adam, what can we do to not gift the Vikings some turnovers? Jared Goff, more Jamal Williams. He has been fumbling. Actually fumbled this last game. We just recovered. Do you think we can continue to do this and play sound football and the lack of flags that we have been doing?
That depends on Jared Goff, because over the last 6 games, he's only thrown 1 interception. And for a guy who since 2019 is tied for the second most turnovers, it's a bit uncharacteristic how well Jared Goff is playing, how well he's protecting the ball. And unfortunately, in the back of your head, you're going to think, well, when does the law of averages play out? Where this guy goes 6 games and only throws 1 interception. Is he going to continue that and not turn the ball over for the next few weeks? Or is that game this week where, I don't want to say he regresses, but he coughs the ball up a few times? Jamal Williams, like you noted, fumbling more recently. You got to protect the ball. The Vikings do a hell of a job. Harrison Smith at safety, 5 interceptions, I believe, on the season. Tied second maybe in the NFL, only behind Tariq Woolen. So, look, Minnesota are going to pounce on any opportunity they can. The Lions have to be ready. And again, I mentioned earlier, what do you do well? The Lions stay on the field, long drives, run the football, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and the defense has had timely takeaways. If you can repeat 70% of that against Minnesota, you have a really good chance to win that game.
Everybody knows Adam Baydoun from Woodward Sports, but you need to follow him on Twitter at Adam Baydoun. Why is that? Why should you follow him? Because he actually does a live, Twitter. He talks on there, and he lets you guys get involved, talk about our Detroit Lions. Just did it the other night. He did a feed. I got on there. We talked some football. He got some fans on there. Follow him on Twitter. And when it comes to Mark Orm from Orm's Forum, he's got a great YouTube channel. Check it out. And he keeps it the way 100 completely. He doesn't blow it up your butt. He doesn't take it easy. He comes at you with hashtag facts. Go ahead and follow him on his YouTube channel. We get into this game, Mark Orm. X factor in this game. Okay, big-ass game. We got to get into it. We got to be physical. What is the X factor for this game on Sunday?
I think the X factor, I think Adam touched on it a little bit. I think it's Jared Goff, man. He needs to secure the ball. He really needs to be, I'm not saying he needs to be completely safe. I really think this is a safe offense, though. I think Ben Johnson has really put Jared Goff in a really good situation in this offense. Let's not get too silly because we were talking about turnovers and stuff like that, and the Vikings are third in the NFL getting the ball back for their offense. So I think Jared Goff really needs to secure the football. If he feels a guy like a Zadarius Smith, a Danielle Hunter coming for him, put 2 hands on the ball, bro, and just tuck it in. Don't try to be silly. Don't get dumb with the football. Don't try to throw it away. Don't just toss it in the air. Hold on for another day. Live to get another down. So I think he's really the X factor here. We can't have him coughing up the football because then we'll be in a big time trouble.
If you notice this panel here, you got bald guy here, you got bald guy in the other end, you got the great hair in the middle. And so we got to go to Adam Baydoun because of that. That means he's got knowledge coming out of his head, unlike me in this bad boy. X factor for this game, Adam, for you, for the Lions potentially to get a victory.
It's Amon-Ra St. Brown. 431 yards over his last 4 games, second in the NFL during that span. He's got 3 touchdowns in the last 4 games. I want to say 43 receptions. That might be 37, actually. I could be mixing a number. But anyways, regardless, he's the guy because he's the offense. You're going to run the ball. We all know what DeAndre Swift will bring. Hopefully he gets more touches like he did last week. That was nice to see. That was inspiring. Jamal Williams, you know what he is, a short down back, a goal line back. Justin Jackson will get some action. But at the end of the day, who's Jared Goff throwing the ball to? And as much as I want to see Jamison Williams get more looks over the coming weeks, I don't think this is the week where they just unleash the full playbook for the kid. I still think he's probably a week or 2 away. I hope I'm wrong. The fact that they didn't use him at all last week was, I don't want to say concerning. It was just a quick reminder that, hey, we literally just got him back. We're not going to showcase everything because then Minnesota and then New York and all these teams will have film on him. And we don't want that. We want the leg up. So when we deem it's necessary or when we deem it's time to use this guy, they're probably going to use him. I hope it's this weekend because I want to watch the kid play, but I still think he's a week away.
In the comment section right now, let me know your score predictions and who wins this game. If you don't want to put a score prediction, fine. Put L for Lions, V for Vikings. But I want to see and spam score predictions right now because that's what I'm going to do with the folks on this panel. Mark Oram, score prediction for this game. Who wins? Does the Lions get a victory? Do we stall? Let me know your thoughts.
Hey, man, I got the Lions winning this football game. I think it's going to be a knock 'em out dog fight, absolutely 100%. But I think we're going to come on top, man. We should have beat these guys on week 3 whenever we played them. There was some coaching blunders going on with that game. Dan Campbell, we all kind of ripped them apart for that game, and he's actually taking it really to heart. He's saying he's never going to forget about it for the rest of his life, but he needs to move on from that. And we had a really good shot at beating those Minnesota Vikings. So I think we're going to win this football game. I think we're going to score. We're going to score often on this defense. I'm calling 30-24 for the Detroit Football Lions, in a real tough matchup though. It's going to be a good game.
He just got an ultra combo right there, right now in the comment section. We got Lions, JMO, 34-27 Lions, Lions 45-34, Lions 36, Vikings 26, Lions 34-33, Lions 38-20, Lions mother effer 40-24, JMO, whoa, JMO. Oh, whoa. Yes, everyone's going Lions across the board, so we got to go to the man, the myth, the legend in the middle with the hair right there. Who wins this game? Score prediction, unless you're saving it for a show.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I don't mind.
You don't have to.
No. It's cool. I'm going to say final score 30-29. The Lions barely get out against the Minnesota Vikings.
Let's go.
It's gonna be a battle. I do think Minnesota poses problems that this current unit, although they've been playing above their level, I don't think they have solutions for. You don't have the athletes. Jeff Okudah, as good of a season as he has had, he has not been a shutdown corner in theory. So can he do that against Jefferson? We'll see, right? That's why you play the games, but there's still a lot of problems Minnesota do pose, not just offensively, defensively as well. And let's not forget, this is a team that in one-possession games this year have been exceptional. They're 10-2, most of their games coming off one-possession wins. They don't make mistakes. They don't blow their timeouts. They don't turn the ball over going in or coming out of half. They score coming in and going out of half. This is a team that's playing fundamental football. I know they're I know they're not as good as their record indicates, which is why Vegas has them at 2.5. But I'm sorry, I do still think they pose a lot of problems that I just don't see how Detroit has the answer for.
So right now, a lot of Lions love there, but there's still a little bit of worrisome. That's okay. That's what happens, folks. I do got the Detroit Lions winning this game 32-28 in a close game. It's always close with the Minnesota Vikings and Lions. It's been like this for years now. Even when the Lions have been historically bad, it's still always been a close game, even in 2008. I think it's going to be the case here. But the Lions pull off the victory and get to 6 wins, and that is absolutely what we thought they were, and we need that to happen for the Lions' playoff hopes to continue. You have to win this game if you want it to happen. The last thing I want to see is the Minnesota Vikings putting on the NFC North hats and shirts on Sunday at Ford Field. So the Lions got to get that W. Right now, if you guys got questions, I may have an answer. I already know Mark will have an answer, and Adam, he has an answer before it even was asked. So put hashtag Lions, hashtag Adam, hashtag Woodwards, hashtag Mark, hashtag Mike, whatever you want, and we will answer. We already got one this quick. Adam, do the Lions make the playoffs?
No, unfortunately not. They are unfortunately too far behind. The 1-6 start has just totally shot their chances in the foot. I love the story. I do think they have a really good chance at going 4-1 down the stretch. But to me, this season looks like 3-2 down the stretch, 8-9, and hopefully Dan Campbell and company don't get off to a slow start next season, because if they do, I might lose my shit.
I tell you what, I that's how I predicted this would go. We would just miss out, even though I think it's a success.
But that's what we wanted.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we
man,
wanted
look,
before the
you want to
season?
progress.
7-8 wins. That was the expectation. And the problem was they started 1-6, and it looked like everything was falling apart. And then they trade Hawkinson, then get rid of Aubrey Pleasant, and somehow, some way, these last 5 games, they've looked fucking incredible. So,
John Ball, panel, total yards for the Lions. Mark, what do you got Sunday?
Total yards for the Lions. Okay, I'll say 250 for Goff, at least 250, and I think we'll go over 100 plus with that whole unit on the run game. So I'll go 360. 365, almost 365, 370.
So we're doing a circle here. Kevin S. Hashtag Woodward. Early second-round quarterback. Anyone strike you as a starter? Adam, your quarterback situation. You got Jared Goff, who right now is doing pretty good. Now, a lot of people think Jared Goff is a top 5 quarterback or a top 10 quarterback. Should the Lions look at a quarterback in the second round?
no, they shouldn't. It's unnecessary. I think Jared Goff and Dan Campbell would appreciate a middle linebacker. They would appreciate an outside linebacker. They would appreciate a secondary player, an interior lineman, hell, even a guard. They would appreciate a lot more things than a quarterback in the second round. I'm of the opinion, when you draft a quarterback, your clock starts as a GM. So if I'm Brad Holmes, am I really going to take a second-round pick flyer on a quarterback? Why would I do that? Either I'm in love with somebody.
When you take a quarterback, it's got to be a guy you believe in, right? It's got to be.
It's either
unless
you
you're
believe
talking
or
like
you
a
don't.
7th rounder, for a backup role.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying?
How often do they work, right?
And it doesn't
realistically,
work much. It doesn't.
It almost never does, especially in the second round. You have Jalen Hurts doing it right now, and that's a nice story. But again, you got to draft these guys with the intent that they're the future. That's at least my view on it. And most importantly, if you're going to take a guy, you might as well take him with that 3rd or 4th overall pick, wherever you end up, because what situation around the NFL is better for any young quarterback than what the Lions have? They have Ben Johnson. They have the O-line, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jameson Williams hopefully emerges and is everything we think he is. You have a deep backfield with, really, it doesn't matter who's back there. You're going to be able to run the ball. So the Lions' offense is perfectly set up for any young quarterback to walk in and deliver. The problem I have is, are you in love with Stroud or Young? And if you aren't, well, shut the fuck up and wait till 23 wait till 24, because Jared Goff has proven these last 6 games he can win you games. You can win with him. And as much as I don't love him, I don't need to love my quarterback. If you can win me games and contend for the division, dare I say win the division, get me a playoff game, get me a playoff win, that's all I need you for. And then when the time is right, I'll either trade up, or from where I'm at, I will select my quarterback. To me, it's pretty simple. It's hard to find franchise quarterbacks. It's already a crapshoot enough. Nobody ever really knows. Whoever says they do know if this quarterback is going to work out is full of shit. It's just not the case. Nobody ever fucking knows. So you got to make that decision if you're Brad Holmes. If he makes it this year, I'm not going to be upset. I do think Goff is playing well enough over the last 7 weeks to say, all right, maybe we don't need to make this decision. What if we just went all in on defense, got some depth for our O-line, and then went into next year with division aspirations?
You play to win the game. That's the only stat I care about, is you play to win a game. In all honesty, and if he's winning games, great. If the games are not being won, not great. That's the way I feel. I'm with you. Victory Monday. I'll take a 2-0 victory all day over a 42-41 loss. Hashtag Go Lions with the Rams shutting down Stafford. Can we land a top 3 pick? We have the 4th pick right now. Mark Oram from Orams Forum.
Yeah, man. I don't see why we can't. The Rams seem to be a little bit imploding right now. Just picked up Baker Mayfield. Obviously, he won't be playing tonight. It's Wolford. They got a lot of guys shut down, man. Cooper Kupp. So Stafford done. Hey, man, this Rams pick could be really nice. And, like Adam said, what are we going to do here with this pick? If they really love a guy like a Bryce Young or a C.J. Stroud, are you grabbing a quarterback? I for one, would love defense. I think they do need to grab a quarterback eventually, though. But I think this defense needs to get fixed still, even though it's getting better as week to week. But, yeah, man, that Rams pick's looking really nice. It's definitely going to be a top 5 pick. I can't see the Rams. They had the toughest schedule going into the season. Now everybody's falling apart. They're getting hurt, shutting guys down. McVay's having a terrible year here with his LA Rams. So I definitely see a top 3 pick 100%.
We got a $1.99 super chat from Tim Monroe. What up, guys? Thoughts on Rager's guarantee? Well, thank you so much for that super chat. Really do appreciate it. I think it's just full of it. He can talk all he wants. Guarantees don't work out that well, if you ask me. So I think, hey, going to have to do something, Jalen Reagor, because like Adam said earlier in the year, I think 2 games, Amon-Ra first downs got more yards than him whole career. So Amon-Ra first down, if he says something like that's a little bit different compared to Jalen who. Dennis G, please do quick answers so more questions go through. I'll try my best. Hashtag take Bryce Young if he falls to us. Go with Jalen Carter if he doesn't. It's simple. I actually agree. I think Jalen Carter is my guy if Bryce Young is not there. And Bryce Young, I think, is Houston Texans. I think it's pretty much guaranteed. But I like Jalen Carter a little bit over Will Anderson. Let's get to another one. Adam, is Levi Onwuzurike a bust of a draft pick?
Yep, he absolutely is. And I'm sorry, when you are drafted, again, he's only a 2nd-round pick. And I know 2nd-rounders are important, but, it's not the same as a 1st-round pick, right? It doesn't have that same feeling. But still, he's been a bust. It's been disappointing. He hasn't been available. Greg Oden was a bust, not because he wasn't a great basketball player, but because he was always hurt. And availability is one of the most important things in the NFL. The guy's a bust, and there's no denying it, just like up until this season, Jeff Okudah was a bust for the Lions.
Weston Lyon, panel, how far are we from being the real deal? Name our needs. Well, I think we're pretty much, right now we're showing what we are, but our needs, I would say defensive tackle, a Jalen Carter, linebacker in the middle there with the young guys, and maybe another corner out there for the Lions defense. I think if you get that, pretty good. The rest would kind of be depth. Maybe get a running back as a depth piece, but I feel like we are the real deal. I think this team's going to take a gigantic step, though, next year, compete for the NFC North. Mark, Adam, what do you think of that?
Yeah, man. I definitely think you hit the nail on the head there, Mike. I think, we get gashed on the ground. We need to plug up that middle. We just talked about Levi being a bust. A Jalen Carter would be absolutely beautiful. We need some help, man. I still think we need some help getting to the quarterback. I really love Will Anderson coming out. So, corner, corner's been up and down. Amani Oruwariye was supposed to be that guy coming in. He's been nothing but atrocious. Jerry Jacobs hurt, coming in, playing a little bit better football, struggling a bit. So I think another corner is definitely should be in play. And then running back, quarterback for developing. we're a little bit away, man. Like we're turning the corner. I feel like we are turning the corner for sure, but we're a bit away. It's still, man. We're getting there though. We're getting there.
I'm willing to put money that they are a corner and a capable defensive tackle away from being division winners. I think Jared Goff has proven in his career you can win with him just like you can win with Kirk Cousins and just like you can win with Ryan Tannehill, Jimmy Garoppolo, and whoever the hell else you want to name. The coach over the last 5 weeks has really impressed me. I still have questions, but there are a lot fewer questions than what it was 6-7 weeks ago. This team is loaded on offense. I know we're watching every Sunday and maybe we've just gotten too used to it, but it's actually disgusting how effective this offense is. It's not normal. That's not what normal NFL offenses do. They're top 8 for a reason. They're top 5 in major categories for a reason. This team is there. The talent was there, and there's reasons why, whether it was Mark, yourself, or myself, there was praise and optimism in the offseason. There's a reason for it because we could all see it, and everybody in the chat right now, I'm no smarter than you guys. You watch the same fucking football I watch. You all knew going into this season, this offense would be a problem for most teams. They can run the ball for 3 downs, and they can throw it for 3 downs. And when Jameson Williams ended up coming back, you knew that would add a different dimension to this team. So, no, I'm not going to apologize for it. I think you're 2 players away, hopefully veterans and draft picks, from being a division contender next year. You can't give me reasons why you couldn't do it. It's obvious. It's so in front of you. Your defense with, quote, limited talent is giving up less than 20 points a game over the last 5 weeks. And it went up against Aaron Rodgers, Justin Fields. It went up against, look, I don't like Daniel Jones, but God, he's done a decent job in New York, and you made him look like a scrub. You went toe-to-toe with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, and then you went and dominated Trevor Lawrence, who's coming off a career game. So I think they're there. I really do. It's all on coaching now. It's on coaching, and can you add 2 or 3 players defensively, whether it's in free agency or the draft, that make you a respectable defense? I'm not asking top 10. That will take time. But if you get me a top 18 defense, this is a 10-11 win team next year.
$10 super chat from my good buddy 9 Drinks. Best panel ever. Thank you so much, and that deserves an Ultra Combo. And a Hadouken. I really do appreciate it, man. Love those super chats. It really puts a smile on my face. I'm going to miss some comments, and that's okay. Just repost them. Hashtag smash the hole. Always hashtag smash the hole, by the way. That's a great hashtag. Do you guys think we could keep Ben Johnson next year? Yeah, I think he'll be here next year. It's worrisome because their offense is absolute firepower. But after 1 year, gets a head coaching job, I don't know. I think he'll be here next year. After that, I'm a little bit worried, Mark. I am worried.
Yeah, you can still even count 2021 when he took over for Anthony Lynn, man. He turned that whole offense around. You've seen it in Jared Goff. You've seen the swag. You've seen the whole offense completely change from night and day. And then it's continued into 2022. Like Adam said, it's abnormal of what we're looking at right now. They're just literally just putting teams to bed. They're offensively driving down the field at ease, and a lot of that is Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson has put his guys in a really good situation. And we criticize Goff a lot around here, but he is playing really good football, and he's in a really good system. And that's Ben Johnson and Jared Goff putting that together. So he's probably going to get some interviews, maybe. He's a 36, 38-year-old guy. He's young. He's brilliant. He's creative. So I don't think he's going to necessarily leave in 2023. But, I think he's going to get maybe some calls for some interviews. I'm sure him and Dan Campbell are going to talk it out, see what they really want to do. But I expect Ben Johnson, if this keeps up, he's gone by 2024, man. We just got to realize that.
Do you think we should start grooming somebody, Mark? Adam, because he'll be gone?
No, I agree with Mark. What are the chances you can groom another offensive coordinator like Ben Johnson? And he was here before Dan even showed up, and Brad, right? He was part of the Patricia coaching staff. So, look, Ben Johnson is phenomenal. He's everything and more that you could have dreamed of going into the season. The only way you keep him maybe for 2 years is if you back up the Brinks truck and you get on your knees and give a little, extracurricular. Outside of that, he's going to get looks. Mike McDaniel was the OC in San Francisco for a year, and then he took the job in Miami. So it doesn't take long. And if I'm an owner in the NFL, if I'm a GM right now, I'm looking across the league and I'm trying to see who's winning. And it's typically the young offensive-minded guys or the guys, seasoned vets who've been around who are never going to be available. So I'm looking at Mike McDaniel having success. I'm looking at Kevin O'Connell having success. And I'm saying, you know what? I like my offense. I've got a young quarterback. Let me call Ben Johnson because he's doing a hell of a job with Jared Goff in Detroit. Why would I wait? I mean, this is the formula. And look, just because you're a good OC or a very good or a great OC, that does not mean you're going to be a good head coach or a very good head coach. They're two completely different things. We had this with Schwartz. Schwartz was an excellent defensive coordinator and an average to below average head coach. So it doesn't always translate. I'm sure Ben's going to want another year under his belt. I agree with Mark. He's probably here next year. He'll get looks. But the good thing Ben Johnson has going for him is he knows he's going to have a top 10 offense for the next few years. His name is going to be in the running. Now it's, where do I want to go? Do I want to coach C.J. Stroud? Do I want to coach Bryce Young? Or do I want to wait another year and then go get Caleb Williams or, Drake May? Who do I want to coach? Do I want to go coach Kyler? Do I want to go coach, Justin Herbert if the Chargers job opens up? Ben's going to have options, and it really depends on what happens in the NFL landscape.
Why wouldn't the Lions take a chance on Mayfield? Didn't we try to get him in the draft night? Well, first off, he got picked up by the Rams, who is higher in priority, and we don't have an issue really at quarterback. Let's be honest.
He was drafted first overall by the Browns too, wasn't he? At draft night, like what draft night? I don't know what you're talking
complete bust.
about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Complete bust, man.
No.
I'd rather get pegged than have Baker as a quarterback.
Yeah, look, man. I before the season started, him as a backup, I'd think about it, but Jared Goff, I take way over him. It's not even close. I mean, and you're talking about we got Ben Johnson. He really did a good job with Jared Goff. His initials is BJ.
Fantastic.
Really kind of explains why he's good at his job. He's really good with the jobs. Really, really good. I mean,
yeah,
he's sick ass.
Yeah.
Hashtag kicker in the balls.
Kick Rieger in the balls. Kick Rieger. He's talking about
kick
Rieger.
Rieger in the balls. I said kick her in the balls.
Vikings
Are there any later round quarterbacks you like? I haven't really gone to 7th round picks, anything like that, but not really. If I'm looking to get a quarterback, generally it's probably in the first couple of rounds. That's generally where I'm doing it. Rumor has it that Jim Harbaugh might be interested, but I highly doubt it. Where would he go? I thought he said he's staying in Michigan.
Jim ain't going
He's
nowhere.
staying.
Yeah,
He's staying.
He ain't going nowhere, Jimmy. This always pops up around this time. He's
yeah.
not going. He's sticking around.
Would you fire Campbell to keep Ben Johnson? No.
No.
Oh,
I mean, come on.
Oh my God.
Let's see how next year plays out.
Okay.
Let's see how next year plays out. Campbell goes out and wins 10, 11 games. Ben Johnson can walk. But if they're 6-11 or 7-10 next year, I'm considering Ben Johnson. Absolutely. I'm not letting. I just don't want to be the Washington Redskins at the time where they let Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, and Matt LaFleur walk out of the building for Jay fucking Gruden. So let's avoid that, please.
Isn't that just crazy?
That
That's
was
the
great.
weird.
That was crazy, man. Yeah,
that's crazy. And they had Kirk Cousins.
Everybody knew Kyle was going to be special. That wasn't like hindsight. Everybody knew Kyle because of his dad, Mike Shanahan. And then Sean McVay was the boy toy. He was the play call. He was basically Ben Johnson, a different title, but he was the guy that Kyle Shanahan at the time would say, this guy comes up with all the creative plays you've never seen, you've never heard of. Sean is this, Sean is that. So Washington messed that up really bad.
Big time.
We got we got easy violence. Okay, that's funny. Adam is trolling. He never does that.
Lentz works for us, by the way.
He
That is one of our guys here.
Should Matthew Stafford retire, Adam? I got to hear you on this one. With all the injuries he's gone through, this has been something.
Yeah, I would retire if I was him. I got my Super Bowl. I am known as one of the better quarterbacks during my era. I will be known as a guy who was held back because of the team and city I played for. And when I left, I immediately delivered a Super Bowl. I had 3 playoff comebacks in that 1 year. It'll be enough to get him in the Hall of Fame. Don't mess with your head, man. Those injuries you can't ever reverse back. It's not like a broken leg or anything. So if he's got back, spinal, or head problems, just walk away.
Yeah.
Wayne Shirk just became a member to the channel. Thank you so much, man, for becoming a member. Huge shout out to you. Dennis says, do you guys answer questions, or we just watch you ramble?
What are you, not listening, bro? Dennis, open up your ears, bro. We're answering questions. My God.
Stop rambling. Stop rambling.
Holy, what? I don't understand, man.
God.
Some of these guys, man.
Noah Sewell, 2-0, or Trenton Simpson. Simpson's a baller right now, man. Good.
Simpson is a hell of a linebacker, man. That guy.
Trenton Simpson's going to be special.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love him.
He is going to be special. Where do you think he goes in the draft, Mark and Adam?
I think he's a first-round pick. Man. Maybe middle of the draft, but I think he's going in the first round 100%.
I'd agree. I'd say top 14, top 15.
Yep.
He's a monster. He is an absolute stud. He's a stud. If injuries decimate the team next year, you giving Holmes and Dan Campbell a pass on a losing season? It depends what the losing season is.
Depends.
If it's
Context
a one-win season,
Yeah.
what do you got, Adam? Go ahead, speak.
Yeah, context matters with that, because if they start the year 4-0 and then their team falls apart, like that to me is enough to keep Dan Campbell. I mean, but if they're 1-3, 2-5, and then they start getting hurt, I'm probably booting Campbell out of the door. And Holmes, to me, is untouchable. I'm not sure why Holmes is even in the conversation. The guy is a savant in the draft. And after this upcoming draft, I mean, God knows the talent you're going to have. You got 5 picks in the first 3 rounds. Get ready.
What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, I'm going to just kind of piggyback on what Adam said. Holmes shouldn't even be in this conversation. He's absolutely finding gems all over the place. Context is key here, though, too, like we were talking about, too, as well. We always try not to make injury the excuse here, but if we start off really hot next year and start getting some injuries, you're going to lose some ball games. But no excuses over here. But context does matter, man. But these guys are sticking around for a bit, for sure.
Doug, James Houston not getting the love he deserves. Why? I show him lots of love. I love what James Hughes is doing for the limited amount of snaps that he has.
Yeah,
absolutely
man,
love the draft pick from Brad Holmes and what he has done on the field with his limited time. Absolutely love it. I don't know what else to say. I'm not going to go on my knees to him, but I won't do that for any player. But absolute love for him, for sure. Adam, do you believe in Brad Holmes?
Oh, absolutely. I am. I'll be honest, after year 1, I was obviously very skeptical of what was going on. But then they played Arizona, and that was a pretty complete football game. And I thought that was like the formula for success long term. So then I backed off of Dan. And then they got to the offseason, and I saw what Brad Holmes was doing and how he fixed the salary cap. And then, of course, he had the development late of Amon-Ra St. Brown. And then, of course, Penei Sewell was a stud. And you knew, what would they do at number 2 overall? Would they be same old Lions and draft Malik Willis or Kyle Hamilton? They didn't. They went and got Aidan Hutchinson. And then they moved up in the draft, which is unheard of for the Lions. And they go and get Jameson Williams, arguably the 2 best players on offense and defense in that draft. So, look, Brad Holmes is special. I think he has areas he needs to work on. His trades could be better. His free agent signings are to be determined. So we'll see. But yes, I'm a big believer.
Who is Dobbs' guy that we picked up? That's the quarterback Joshua Dobbs, who we picked up. He's a dual threat mobile quarterback on the practice squad. I essentially believe we got him to help the defense out against mobile quarterbacks. Tim Boyle picked up from the Chicago Bears. We got our guy now. Is he going to be starting? No. I think he's just going to be helping out the team because he's a very mobile guy. His stats are 1 interception, 0 touchdowns, 45 yards. That's his career stats in the NFL.
Yeah,
he's 27 years old, so not a lot to hang your hat on there. So that's what he is. Let's see here. Haters, who do you like in the first rounds? I'm a hater for sure. I like Jalen Carter. That's the number one hater that I love. I love Jalen Carter. I think he'd be great. I do like Joey Porter Jr. if you get him as a cornerback. I think with that number 15th pick, if he was there. Keely Ringo, another corner you can look at. I don't believe they go linebacker at that spot. Or you could go edge. Who could be there with edge that could go and really completely beef up that defensive line? Second round, I could see them going linebacker for sure. If they didn't dress corner in the first round, maybe that there with the other second-round pick. I see a lot of defense or potentially Adam getting a running back. I think that could be an option for the Lions depending what they feel with the guys they have right now in the roster.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Those are the key positions. You're going to look for likely Jalen Carter unless Anderson is there, which I doubt. You're either, let's play the scenario out that they draft a quarterback at pick 4 or 3, depending on where they're at. Well, they're immediately going to go interior or secondary with that second first-round pick. And then they're going to follow it up with either another secondary and another defensive tackle, because that's what Brad Holmes has done in every draft. His first draft, he went Levi O and then Aleem McNeil. He doubled down on the interior. His second draft, he went Aidan Hutchinson, second round double down with Josh Pascal. Brad Holmes likes to double dip at key positions. So for me, I'm expecting maybe not in the first 3 rounds, but at least the first 4 rounds, expect 2 defensive tackles, 2 secondary players.
Anything different, Mark?
No, well, yeah. I really love Will Anderson. I think we got to move. I think we got to get up there, like with that Rams pick, if they can get second overall, third overall. I really like Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, defensive tackle, some type of defensive player on that front 7. A corner, obviously. We're talking about Ringo. We're talking about Joey Porter Jr. I like linebackers. Hey, maybe they can grab a Simpson down in the middle of that first round too. Imagine something like that. Double up on defense there if they wanted to. I still like a quarterback somewhere around here. I don't want to go past the 3rd round though with the quarterback, but that's just my preference. I'm not saying the Lions need to do it. But yeah, man, defensive heavy. It's going to be very defensive heavy. Corner, linebacker, defensive line. 100% in those first 3-4 rounds.
Adam, he's a big fan of getting a safety maybe at the number 2 pick. Adam, getting a safety, a tight end.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
grab a safety.
Thinking about getting a safety right there.
That was some of the most stressful.
Man, why not?
That was the most stressful 3 months of my life. I was never under more stress. Doctor visits every single week. Blood pressure through the roof. Fucking motherfuckers,
I remember,
man.
bro. I remember watching it, man. You were freaking out.
You are not a fan of taking a safety at the number 2. But I got to tell you what, I was not a fan of Kayvon Thibodeau. And I feel like I'm correct on there. He hasn't really done a whole lot. He hasn't done. I'm happy we got A. Hutchinson. That was my number 1 guy.
We got Hutch.
We got. Thank you, Jacksonville. We can say I think
big time.
Made a mistake. Micro Mike, are we secure at left tackle? And if not, what's a good plan? I do believe we're secure at left tackle with Taylor Decker, but at some point move on. I think it'd be Penei Sewell moving over to the right side, to the left side, years down the road, and then them drafting right tackle. I think that would be the long-term plan. But for next year, Taylor Decker's, he's done a really good job. And you got a huge shout-out to the offensive line. And, damn, they've just been outstanding. Outstanding, Adam.
Yeah.
I mean, if you looked at this last game, Jared Goff could take a nap after getting a nap and pass the football. That's how good it was.
Yeah, they've been excellent on the offensive line. You maybe want to address the guard. It's a bit weak right now, but not in the first 2 rounds. Maybe 3rd or 4th round you can do it.
Hashtag smash the hole. Do you guys think Joey Porter Jr. will be there with our pick? It just depends where we pick. If 15, probably not. If
Close.
I don't know, but there's a ton of good DB talent in this year's draft. He's just one guy. There's a ton of DB. I think DB and defensive edge is very good. I think defensive tackle after Jalen Carter is weak. But it's exactly kind of what we need. It really is. I think it's set up really good so far for the draft and nothing to cry about. But there's a really good tight end. We could definitely take him with the 15th pick since we got a TJ Hawkinson. I'm just playing, man. I'm not taking a tight end.
I'm going to mute you.
I seen mock drafts where it had us taking a tight end because we got rid of TJ Hawkinson. I just busted out laughing. So
Go look at the teams that are leading their division and go tell me who their tight ends are. Tennessee's winning the division. Who's their tight end?
Austin Hooper.
The Minnesota
man.
Vikings were winning their division before they even fucking got Hawkinson. You go to what? The NFC West? I mean, Kittle. Guess you can make that argument. You go to the AFC West, Kelsey Fair. You go to the AFC South, Tennessee. You've got the AFC North. Who is it? The Bengals? Hayden Hurst? Wow. Oh, my God.
Exactly,
Hayden Hurst.
yeah.
You go to the AFC East. The Buffalo Bills, the Dolphins don't really have tight ends. Gesicki, Knox, really? So, yeah, no, I'll pass.
okay, so how will it look like after the Lions make it to the playoffs? What do you think the city would look like, Adam?
I think it'd look like how I was at the draft doing a bunch of blow and drinking a lot. That's what it looked like.
Picture
That's what'll happen.
1984 when the Tigers. I'm old, so picture that when the 1984 when the Tigers won the World Series. YouTube that. Go YouTube that, man. And then there was literally cars being flipped over. Oh yeah, man. It was chaos when the Tigers won the World Series.
If the
It'd be
Lions
like that,
win a playoff game, Adam, will you shave your head like me?
I mean, what the fuck? I mean, come on. That's a bit aggressive, right? I mean, I'll shave my beard.
Oh,
I'll go that far. My head, though? I mean, come on. You know how long that shit takes to grow back?
you're telling me I haven't gotten them to grow back,
You can't do
man.
that. That's a beautiful head of hair that he's got right here. You can't. That's tough. That's a tough loss.
Folks,
God, I
we've
look
been on
like
for
a-
nearly an hour, and I appreciate the guys getting on. Do shout-outs. After this stream is over, head over to Woodward Sports. Go to the heavyweights. I freaking love the show. It's my guys, Speakeasy and Spencer Raxer, Spenmo Rax. Check their show out. I'll be in the comment section commenting, listening to these guys. But before we get off, I want to give last words. What do you got to say, Mark? Shout out your channel, why people need to subscribe.
It was a great show. Thanks, Adam, for joining us. Thanks, Mike. Man, this was fun. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Come check me out at Mark Oram, Oram's Forum. I do all Lions content. I talk, I talk facts. I talk opinion. It's a pretty raw, pretty easy videos that I do, but it comes straight from the heart. And sometimes I do a podcast called Oram's Den. Haven't really done it in a while, but I will start doing those again. And it's just kind of like, chat participation. We shoot the bull about the Detroit Lions, talk a little baseball if you want to. We just talk Detroit sports and we have some fun with it, man. Come check me out.
All right, Adam, man. Shout out what you got to shout out, man. Woodward Sports.
Yeah, I got to shout out all you motherfuckers in the chat. If none of you go subscribe to Oram or this channel right now on Lions Talk with Mike or Mike Kimber, I should say now, I'm going to find you and I'm going to kill all of you. So make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to both of their channels. And if you don't, I'll fucking find you. I've got a background in IT, so I'll find you.
Oh, go to Woodward Heavyweights right now because I'm going to be laughing. That is that is absolutely terrible, but you got to take it. Oh my God.